Joining us now to go inside the research, Dr. Sharon Alvarez, Associate Professor of Management, specifically in entrepreneurship at OSU's Fisher College of Business. She's also the incoming chair of the Academy of Management Entrepreneurship Division and a former small business owner. Sharon, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
We do appreciate you joining us. Kind of a
Thank you for inviting me.
Gloomy little forecast that I just prefaced your interview there with. Should small business owners be that pessimistic? The numbers aren't great, or should they be optimistic in some cases?
Right. So as I mentioned a little earlier, I'm going to give you the professorial answer and say a little bit of both, right? You know, we've come through a really, really bad recession. It's the worst in my lifetime, probably in most people's lifetimes. And so everybody's a little bit pessimistic, and you know, consumers aren't spending, and that really hurts small businesses. On the other hand, you know, they can get capital equipment, you know, things that they might not have been able to buy at great prices right now, so it's a good time to buy things. They can hire employees that they might not have been able to have hired before because there's unemployment available. So there's a lot of positive to small business right now.
In a down economy, it is fair to say that it might be, in some cases, a good time to start a business. Historically,
Absolutely.
There's examples of this, isn't there?
Yeah, there really are. So Revlon started during the Depression, right? And Microsoft and Apple both started when we had the oil embargo, the late 70s. So we have seen, you know, Commander's Palace in New Orleans started during the famous restaurant started during the Depression. So we've seen businesses that today we think of as, wow, you know, these are like mainstays, and they started as very small businesses during very difficult times.
I guess the bottom line is you can't suppress a great idea.
No, you cannot suppress a great idea. But I also think there's a little bit of a difference in, you know, some people look at demand and they say, okay, here's the niches and we're going to fill that with supply. And some people say, here's what I'm absolutely passionate about.
Right.
And this is what I'm going to pursue. And those passionate businesses, the people that are just passionate, seem to do okay. You know, they're the ones that seem to be able to ride out these difficult times.
Passion or no passion, what do you think are the biggest challenges right today facing a small business?
You know, so they're just more, they're magnified today, but they're always challenges. I have the saying which many entrepreneurs have, which is cash is king. You know, never is that more true than today. Cash is king. So you always have to watch your pennies. That's true in good times and in bad, but bad times tend to remind us of that more so. You have to watch your cash. You have to provide a good product, a good service, you know, at a fair price. Again, you know, in good times we tend to sometimes be tempted to want to cash in on those good times, and in bad times we are reminded that, okay, you know, we have to be fair. So those are things that are always true, but we're just really reminded of it.
Are you seeing some unique approaches to businesses these days, or some you know, some new ways to look at things, non-traditional, I guess?
Right. So I was talking to Cheryl Kruger, and small businesses tend to have more of a sharing mentality in some ways. So instead of laying an individual off, oftentimes you'll see everybody take a bit of a cut in pay or in hours.
Or a furlough, something like that.
So that everybody kind of shares in the pain. And that's, you hate to see people sharing in any pain, but that's maybe a better approach or a nicer approach in some ways than having one people bear all the pain. The other thing, though, that's interesting, and I've really seen a growth, are in social entrepreneurships, right? So social enterprises. So we see Freshbox, for example, I'm naming all these names, who works with homeless people. And they're hiring homeless people and training them, and they provide lunchtime services. So you're seeing businesses that are starting that are much more aware of the economy and the plight of others, and they're saying there's things that we can do to better everybody's living, not just ours, but everyone's.
I want to ask you about your course that you teach at Fisher, which is fascinating. First, though, real quick, your definition of a small business. It could be up to 1,000 employees, right?
Well,
so it's just not always a tiny little 10-person business, right?
Well, I think technically, and I think this is maybe the Small Business Administration's number, it's like under 500 employees.
Okay.
In my mind, my personal definition, when I think of small business, I think of receivables between 100K and $1 million. So that's how I think of it when I think of small
Final
businesses.
question for you. Your course that you teach, you call it a living laboratory.
Yeah, living laboratory.
Tell us about that in about 20 seconds.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm going to focus really quickly. I teach graduates and undergraduates, but I want to focus on the undergraduates because what we're doing is so cool. We have a undergraduate minor right now, and you can be a Fisher college student and take the minor, or you can come from any place in the university and minor in entrepreneurship. And so we get, you know, we get music students, we get chemistry students, we get design students, and they don't understand boundaries, right? So they have no clue that they can't do what they want to do. And so the ideas that come out of there and the businesses that they're talking about are just so creative and so interesting. And that really is the future of Ohio's economy.
Absolutely. That's why they say the best ideas come from young people.
They're amazing.
Sharon Alvarez, great information. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.